not a 24-hour stream like Dean and AB. Shout out to them for having that type of energy to try to do a 24-hour straight stream. That won't ever happen with me. That won't ever happen. And that's just real talk. Not in no not no 51, going on 52. But nevertheless, um, so now we getting a little more detail into what's going on with Devin Haney, Keyshawn Davis, Jay Prince, and Shakur Stevenson. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, I'm a fan of Shakur Stevenson, but like how he moving now is just like ain't a good look. And like I said before, I had an interview with Bill Haney. Y'all need to check out that exclusive interview I did with Bill Haney, where he set the record straight on what was going on with negotiations. Possibly, people gonna take their whatever they spend and put some BS, because a lot of these content creators are full of shit. you know they're not about doing real journalistic work and trying to get to the bottom of things and trying to give their supporters, audience, subscribers, you know the the facts. They're out there like just flat out lying. And to those, to some that are black, they just out here buck dancing and stuff. And you know who these clowns is, these coke sniffing, Garfield the cat looking niggas, and a few other people out here. So, so now we know how Keyshawn allegedly was made mysteriously the number one contender for the WBO belt, according to reports and great journalistic by Sean Vitale. Uh, you know, I know Sean. So, to be honest with you, when I first started, real talk, I have nothing but respect for Sean, because when I first started, Sean kind of showed me some stuff. He showed me the ropes. He didn't have to do that, so I give him credit for that. And I paid it forward by helping some of these dudes that were covering fights, some of these dudes and girls that were covering fights for the first time. So I kind of gave them the game, and and I try to help some of these other people that you know who may begin covering fights for whatever media outlet they're covering fights for. So basically he reported that Jay Prince basically possibly made some phone calls and asked Keyshawn to get made the the number one contender. And keep in mind, Keyshawn hasn't even had a full-fledged fight at 147, but mysteriously he got made the number one contender. You know, and they're saying that's because of Jay Prince. And reports have came out that Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney are both headed to Zuffa Boxing, and Zuffa wants Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson now. And from what I heard, they have offered them, or they're gonna offer them a multi-fight deal that could pay them up to $100 million. But they want that fight now. Shakur Stevenson appears to be twiddling his thumbs, and a lot of people are starting to turn on him. Now, his fans are saying that Devin Haney is trying to bully him and trying to force him to go up to 147. But the thing is, I can play audio basically Shakur saying, hey, I'll go up to possibly 150 for Conor Ben, or I'll fight Ryan Garcia at 147, but rehydrate. This is came out of Shakur Stevenson's mouth. And I don't know why people, I don't know why people get mad at us when we report what these dudes said. You guys get mad at people who are reporting what they said, not what we said. We're not making it up. It came out their mouths. My thing is with this: if Bud can jump up 2 weight classes, so can Shakur Stevenson. And the thing is with Shakur Stevenson, why a lot of people get mad at guys like Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis and Burnt Bacon, you know, Richardson Hitchens, is just how they act. They move funny, especially towards black media. They want us to kiss their ass and look out for them and basically write media friendly reports about them. But then when we say, hey man, can we speak? Can we get a quick interview? And then all of a sudden these dudes, literally rolling their eyes at us like bitches and all that kind of stuff. And then and then when we call them out on that, then they get mad at us. And then they'll have the audacity to say that the black community don't support them when the black community is their biggest supporters. Because most of the time, the people that are not black root against them, against anybody. And I mean anybody. So, as Eddie Murphy would say from Harlem Nights, let's just get the shit out in the open. Let's just really talk about this. Keyshawn be moving funny. Like I said, he got all that energy. He got all that energy for Oshaki Foster and, barking at fans and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, when it pertains to these other dudes, all of a sudden they want to be respectful. And I just got to say this, unfortunately, on the side note, Floyd Mayweather is just really disappointing. It's almost to the fact, I damn near want Manny Pacquiao to beat him, but the black in me, the brother in me, just refused to just go against the grain. I think it's just, I think it's sickening to have Teofimo Lopez and you know, teaching him and showing him some tricks, which I think ain't gonna hurt him, ain't gonna help him, to have him around you after all that stuff he said. And this is why people like him continue to disrespect black people. And this is why a lot of these cornballs think they can disrespect the black community and disrespect black people as a whole till they find out the hard way that everybody ain't Floyd Mayweather. Just like he's sitting up there kikiing with, and kicking it with Ryan Garcia after he tested positive and cheated against Devin Haney, a dude that Floyd Mayweather was supposed to have been taken under his wing. But then again, he ended up getting into it with Tank, somebody that was supposed to be taken under his wing and stuff. For Ryan Garcia, a non-black who said all those horrible things about George Floyd and black people. And then you have some of these bitch ass boxers sitting up here taking pictures with Ryan Garcia. This is why a lot of these cornballs think that they can disrespect the black community and disrespect black men as a whole. This is why people don't consider black men the leaders of their community. Because a lot of these niggas don't stand for nothing. Well, I do. I do. Y'all know when I do these lives, these racists know not to bring their asses on my channel because I will cook, baste, fricassee they ass. They know not to pull the stuff. See, they can go to those other media outlets and talk that crazy stuff, but they know not to bring their asses on here because I'm one of the realest journalists, media members out there. And like I said, y'all know I didn't pay the stiff price. But the funny thing is, non-black, you know what I'm saying, promotional companies give me credentials. But the so-called one that's ran by the black people have ostracized black media for being objective and just doing their job. The PBC has ostracized me, Blue Blood Sports, a few other people, and they still using that crap that somebody else did many years ago. But at the end of the day, that's another thing. We're supposed to be journalists. Of course, as journalists and media members, we're going to show some favoritism or a little, bias towards fighting territory. But at the same time, we can be fair. And I've always tried to be fair. I've always tried to be fair. That's one thing I predicated off and built my channel since I started covering boxing as a media member almost 10 years ago, is try to be fair. But these dudes, oh man, you say stuff about, oh man, you didn't did this, you didn't did that. I'm telling y'all, I have literally been blacklisted. And I can give you the Negro's name from the PBC. Blue Blood said his name. So your boy is banned from covering, and your boy is banned from covering any PBC fights. They blacklisted me. But as you can see, Matchroom don't have a problem with me. Top Rank don't have a problem with me. Golden Boy don't have a problem with me. Ironic, isn't? Ironic, isn't? It is ironic. You- make that make sense. When I say make it make sense, I just came back from a Matchroom Top Rank event, Oshaki versus Raven Ford, and they put me on the floor. And shout out to my boy Stay Ready Boxes. Shout out to my boy who will catch these hands, and shout out to my boy Trick Noty. So I got to see all of them. Shout out to Houston for showing me love. But this is what I'm talking about. I regret, you know, you know, I digress. Let me get back to the story in hand. But this is just some of the stuff that you see. Shakur, he moving funny, man. And then Keyshawn, when Bill confronted him, you see Keyshawn was kind of tripping a little bit. He wasn't talking all that rah rah, hey, light skin stuff. Keyshawn need to really shut the fuck up with that shit. Keyshawn is a known clout chaser. He didn't even seem too sure of himself. And I could tell Bill got in his head. And I promise you, the Top Rank is probably not gonna make that fight, or they're gonna try to get out of making that fight. What they're gonna do is probably within the next coming days, you're gonna hear about a possible Keyshawn versus Brian Norman showdown. And like I said before, I just do not understand the hatred and the vitriol that the black community, some of these dudes in the so-called black community have for Bill Haney, a dude that made the ultimate sacrifice, that made sure his son didn't go down the path that he went down. You don't know how bad it is and what me and Bill went through growing up in Oakland. I was born and raised here. And like I said, I just gotta ask y'all something. How can you respect a nigga like Keyshawn? How can you respect niggas like Tank, who tear down black fighters, but then they sit up sucking up to these non-black fighters? Tank a hypocrite, and he's a goofy. He sat up there and basically made Ryan Garcia jump through hoops, stipulation after stipulation. But then he has the audacity to defend Ryan Garcia and say Ryan Garcia didn't cheat against Devin Haney when he clearly got caught cheating. He failed multiple drug tests. Then you got Keyshawn attacking Devin Haney, calling him a bitch and all that stuff. But then he's sitting up there complaining, "Well, if I fight Ryan Garcia, I got to make sure Ryan Garcia is clean." But he basically attacked Devin Haney, and that's what I mean. A lot of these black fighters don't deserve our respect or our support because they buck dance too much. They act like coons. They buck dance too much. And it just got to be said about those dudes. The way they conduct themselves is disgusting. You making it look like Ryan Garcia got dominion over y'all, like he y'all Hispanic slave master. Nobody should be taking pictures. And then you got Keyshawn, oh well, the Bible. And that's the thing with Keyshawn. He said, I can't stand people like him who every time they do some cornball, some lame stuff, they want to try to use the Bible or it was the devil got in me and all that kind of stuff and try to say, well, the Bible said, like, man, get your ass out of here with that stuff, man. I can't stand people like that, man. You did all that goofy stuff when your brother lost. Your brother handled his loss more like a man than you did. You sat up there and tried to jump the dude and run in the locker room and all that kind of stuff. Where was that? That's how you should have been feeling about Ryan Garcia. But yeah, you tried to jump another black man. And you can send this video to Keyshawn and you can tell him Town Beard said to kiss his motherfucking ass. And I'll say it to his face. I'll say it to his face. Real talk. So anybody you can send this to Keyshawn. I'll say it right to his face. I'm not scared of nothing. So that's just real talk. You sitting up here worried about somebody getting an MCM bag. Like, dude, like, nigga, for real? And I'm so tired of this stuff about, oh, he didn't get it from the trenches. Like me, like as black men, we get called out, we get attacked on a regular basis saying that we don't do right by our kids. We're absentees and all. We make black women single mothers. But here it is, Bill that been with his kids through thick and thin, who did his best to provide a safe life and healthy life for his son to keep him out of the streets, but he gets attacked for it. Oh, Bill's a clown. Bill's a clown. Why he a clown? But once again, you don't have no problem with Teofimo Lopez father acting a fool. You didn't have no problem. You didn't come after Danny Garcia's goofy daddy for calling Keith Thurman a bitch ass nigga. Y'all more mad at Bill because he's staying 10 toes down. And he trying to open up an avenue for you for y'all, and y'all don't even appreciate it, to be self-reliant and independent and gamble on yourself, believe in yourself, bet on yourself, and not letting somebody control you, but you be in control. But nah, y'all don't appreciate that because y'all programmed. Like Public Enemy once said, y'all niggas watch Channel Zero. Y'all show y'all female tendencies. Y'all show that y'all got raised by single mothers. Like I said, Keyshawn don't demonstrate nothing but chick tendencies. You do all that screaming and hollering and talking about you, Craig, and all this kind of stuff, man. Please. I promise you, Keyshawn gonna find a way to get out of that fight. Probably what's gonna happen? He gonna ask to fight for probably the vacant WBA belt because they elevated Rolly to super champion, which is stupid. And now they have the regular and then the super champion. So they basically came up with two. Now they got two belts. So that's probably the route they gonna go. And then Keyshawn goes, let me fight for that belt. And then, if I get that belt when it comes to the go, Keyshawn goes, and then, like I said, his fans don't believe in it neither. Answer me one question. What do y'all have against Bill Haney? Now, I promise you, probably if it was a lady talking like this, y'all would be impressed, because a lot of y'all black dudes are conditioned to have contempt and vitriol for black men, because it was indoctrinated by a lot of these hateful and vengeful black women. Not all, but a lot. And yeah, that's another thing, Tania. What nigga would have on some shades, and you can see it's the afternoon, and you like, man, come on, dude, like, stop it. I could just tell by how Keyshawn was talking, his whole energy change. He wasn't talking that light skin stuff, and like I said, Keyshawn is a sucker, like, for real. He act like a real sucker. He act like a mark, and somebody got to say it, throwing temper tantrums and stuff. Like I said, you name one time where Devin Haney personally attacked somebody. Only when they personally attacked him. Just like Sean Porter. I'm sorry, Kenny. I know you listen to my channel, but Sean was on some coon shit when he sat up there and attacked Devin's manhood. And that's the thing. Like I said, you got these dudes that would rather defend a non-black than take up for a brother. What has Devin Haney ever did to anybody? And like I said, I'm so tired of this man. I'm so sick of this crabs in a barrel mentality. You ain't black, man. You ain't black because you grew up with money. Your blackness is defined by being on welfare and not having a daddy, and all. Like, man, what the fuck? That got to be the stupidest shit that I ever heard in my life. You didn't get it from the mud. Well, who want to get something from the mud? To be honest with you, I'd rather get it. I would rather get it fresh and clean, or as LCAS would say, so fresh and so clean. Please, for real. Do you ever hear white people talk about like this about each other? Do you ever hear Hispanic? Do you ever hear Asians talking about this? And this is where we lack. This is where we're losing the battle, because we have this mentality towards each other. Man, listen, Hamza, I'm finna put this out in the open, and you know, I don't usually do this. You know, I don't usually do this. I I don't usually do this, but I'm gonna make an exception, and it's about time somebody said this. But on the real, fuck Mill City Boxing. He on that DJ Blad stuff. He love instigate and trying to play these black fathers and trainers up against each other, and then he tries to play innocent, or he tries to put black people and play them up against each other. Now, me myself, I didn't advise and ask Bill to stop going on certain outlets, but Bill give everybody access. That's another thing. He gives everybody access. Yeah, fuck Mill City Boxing. Fuck him. Cause people see what you've been doing, and people see what you do. I tried to give that dude a chance, but now I see what he be doing. Yeah, so I'm saying his name, and let me tell you something. I ain't clout chasing him. I don't need him. I am the damn clout. Nobody don't need him. And then a lot of these dudes be sitting up here contradicting themselves. They say certain people say that some of these content creators be gossiping, but they be going on dudes outlet gossiping. So yeah, man, fuck dude. And somebody need to say that. And I don't know what nationality Mill City is. He don't look like he black. But yeah, somebody need to, yeah, somebody need to just put it out there. And it's time that somebody called that dude out. And I guess I'll be the one to do it because I'm a real one on this piece. I've been seeing dude doing this far too long. I tried to give him a chance. I thought he was cool at first, but then more and more, I started to see what this dude be doing. He be sitting up here instigating. You name one time where I've had two people on my channel or panel at the same time, and I tried to get these dudes to talk bad about each other. Most of the time, I try to contain that. Now I will ask them what's their opinion of something, but I don't try to get these dudes. I try my hardest not to get these dudes to tear down other black dudes because I try to be on code. I mean, you know how I feel about that. You already know how I feel about some of them. He looked white to me. He might be one of them white ones what Angel Garcia. But I don't know what he is. But yeah, that dude, he be sitting up there instigating this stuff. Now I know somebody may come across this video and go back and say, "Oh, go back to him and say, you heard what Tail B is?" Tell him. Tell him. Tell him. Ask me, do I care? Ask me, dude, because I'm on one tonight because like I'm just sick of the politics. I'm tired of the politics. I'm just tired of the lying on here. Like I said, I'm just gonna say it. A lot of these black boxers, they just stupid because they trying to follow the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. You know, fight everybody but the brothers. And here it is, Bill Haney trying to uplift and bring together these black fighters so these dudes can get a bag, but these dudes don't want to fight each other. They sit up here and downplay each other and say that certain fighters ain't that good, but then they'll sit up here and be saying, oh, dudes like, yeah, you know, the non-black fighters are so much better. And I'm gonna say this again, just like Shakur was sitting up saying that Devin Haney lost to Lomachenko. Anybody that look, go watch that fight again with the sound off, and you'll clearly see you erase the bias broadcasting, the pro Lomachenko broadcasting, because keep in mind, Lomachenko was the home guy. Even though Devin Haney was with Top Rank at the time, it was only a 3-fight deal. So of course they're going to call the fight more in favor of the home guy, which was Lomachenko. Devin Haney clearly won that fight. Lomachenko at best may have won 4 rounds. But Devin Haney clearly won that fight with sharp body punching, and then he allegedly broke one of Lomachenko's ribs because Lomachenko had to go to the hospital. Go look at some of my videos from that fight. Lomachenko admitted that he could have did more, and then they had people review the fight again after Lomachenko requested it, and they rewatched the fight, and they said once again Devin Haney had won the fight. Since when do you change the narrative? Everybody knows the champion gets the benefit of the doubt. Oh, but because it was this overrated Eastern European fight, like I said, the broadcast was biased. I was there. Y'all know I covered that fight. So I was there. I covered that fight. Devin Haney allegedly broke one of Lomachenko's ribs. So there goes that narrative that Devin ain't a big puncher because it take a lot of power to break somebody's ribs. so, so once again, I covered that fight. And like I said, these black dudes, like I said, these black fighters, they I hate to say it, some of them are just stupid. That's a strong word to use, but like I said, when you should be sitting up here saying, "I want that fight." Keyshawn, oh, I don't think Dib that good. He don't do nothing good. Well, what do you do, bro? Like, who have you really beat up significance? I'm just saying. And I could tell. Let me tell y'all something. I could tell that Devin he could get in. He could get in Keyshawn's head. And if they make that fight, I'm gonna show Devin. I'm gonna show Devin how to get in. I'm gonna show Devin how to get in Keyshawn's head. Keyshawn ain't mentally like for real. Keyshawn ain't mentally sound. He already proved that. Your brother lost, but you tried to fight the dude that beat him, and then you tried to sit up there and make it look like you just was trying to go out of your way to make the Devin Haney fight. He tried to say Devin been ducking him, but then he said out of his own damn mouth that Top Rank wanted that fight for him. And I'm telling you right now, it may be difficult because I don't think Bob Nim is ready to send Devin over to Zufa or whatever the case may be. Yeah, y'all know what happened the last time they sent a fighter after Devin Haney. Nah, Devin is pretty strong. Devin is pretty strong. Keyshawn ain't gonna be able to do that stuff. I'll promise you, if they make a real offer to Keyshawn, and then Keyshawn seemed stuck when when he said, "Well, you need to talk to my manager." And Bill said, "I have been talking to your manager." Well, it appears that uh it's some truth to what Bill was saying because based off the fact it appears that um, Jay Prince was the one that asked basically the WBO to anoint Keyshawn the number one contender, even though Keyshawn hasn't had one fight at 147. So you have to scratch your head, and it just goes to show you that the sanctioning bodies is full of what. But Jay been in this business for many moons now, so Jay got some influence. Yeah, a lot of people are starting to think that Shakur is mentally weak, but I know Keyshawn is mentally weak because I could tell when Bill told him he looked kind of like stuck when Bill told him, "Well, you didn't fall 14 bums." When Bill told him we could have fought those dudes, but they wouldn't let us. So you can kind of tell that Keyshawn looked stuck. He had a lot of false bravado, or what I'm saying. He just didn't seem sure of himself. So, like I said, I just wouldn't be surprised if Keyshawn tries to find a way to get out of that fight. Because I'm telling you now, they want that fight. And Bill went on record. He went on record. Y'all go watch my interview I did with Bill about 3 hours ago. It's a like 16-minute interview, and y'all know me. I don't usually like talking to people that long, but Bill, we both come from the same soil, East Oakland, deep East Oakland, you know. So Y'all know I try to keep all my interviews, unless it's just an exclusive. Y'all know I try to keep all my interviews, especially when I'm out on the field. I try to keep all my interviews under 3 minutes. But I wanted to set the record straight, and Bill made it very apparent that if they can't get Keyshawn or both at the same time, they said that they would prefer Shakur. But if they can't get Shakur, they will take Keyshawn. Bill went on record and said, "We will take Keyshawn." Now, I told Bill to tell Keyshawn that he got to fight in the Bay Area. But Bill said he don't want Keyshawn to use that as an excuse. But my thing is with Keyshawn, if you so confident that you can beat Devin Haney, why do you care where the fight why do you care where the fight is at or where it's going to be at? If you so confident, if you want, listen, say what you want to say about Errol Spence. Hey, he went across the water to beat Kell Brook. He went across the water to beat Kell Brook. He going way to the land down under to fight Tim Zoo. Okay? He going to Australia to fight Tim Zoo. So, that's the thing. Obviously, Spence don't care. So my thing is with Keyshawn, but I promise you, Keyshawn will use that as the excuse too. Oh, I don't want to fight in the Bay Area. Because I'm telling you, I know how Keyshawn get down, man. I'm telling you, Keyshawn is a fraud. I'm telling you, he's a fraud. I'm telling you, he mentally weak. Yeah, he made it sound good. He make it sound good. He one of them people. He talk good when he by himself. When he got a cameraman, but then when Bill confronted him, then all of a sudden, well, I thought you wanted to, like, tripping over his words and everything. So well, maybe you need to, maybe every once in a while he'll try to say, "Oh, I'll whoop your son's ass." But where was all that? Where was all that animation? Like he was saying, "I'm Craig. I'm Craig. I'm Craig." He was doing, man. He was doing that, man. Man, Keyshawn was he was being a character from Friday. He was being Day Day. You know, yeah, yeah. Pops would have popped him though. Pop. That's who he was being, and you know how Day Day was. So that's more who Keyshawn is. Yeah, Pops would have popped him though. I mean, did y'all see that video that Devin posted where Keyshawn is sitting up cheesing and jumping up and down, in the background, like he found out that he just, you know what I'm saying, hit on the Nike sneaker app for the new Jordans. Did you see how he was looking at his phone? Like, yeah, 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 I got the, yeah, I hit on the brick by bricks. I hit on the brick by bricks. He was like, go watch that. Go to Devin, go to Devin's Instagram, and look how Keyshawn with his phone cheesing and stuff. But that's how Shakur is smart. He like Shakur is smart. He like, man, let me throw what's the face out. It's like this. Let's listen. Shakur been a pro for a minute. Shakur got what 20 something fights in. Shakur been a pro for a minute. He 28 years old. He gonna be 29 at the end of the month. Like, dude, when did you go fight Devin, bro? Either you go like I said before, you can't sit up there and say, well, I'll fight this dude at a catch weight, or I'll go up to this weight and fight him, but you don't want to fight. So let me get this straight. You willing to go up to 150 or whatever to fight Conor Benn, but then you don't want to go to the full-fledged 147 to fight Devin Haney. Oh, that's a fight later down the line. Hey, look, dude, how much longer? Like, how much longer, dude? And this is what I mean. These dudes is, and that's what I'm saying. I don't respect these dudes because they don't want to fight elite black fighters. We should be fighting each other. This is what I miss about the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. The elite fights, the elite superstar fights were against blacks versus blacks. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. No disrespect to the non-black fighters, in particularly the Hispanic fighter. But now these black and brown fights, they getting a little stagnant now. They're getting a little stagnant now. It's time to promote us fighting each other. It's time for us to get a bag together, and we need to stop with the coonery, and we need to stop downplaying. Okay, some of y'all been watching too much of the Great White Hype. I think some of y'all took that movie too serious. When Samuel L. Jackson's character, the Sultan, which by the way, his character, the Sultan, was a well, you know what he was. If you seen the Great White Hype, he was a you know, if you seen that movie, you know what his character, the Sultan, was. Remember when Jeff Goldblum? Well, you know what he was. So that should have showed you his credibility. That should have showed you how shady he was. So I'm just saying, some of y'all been watching too much of that. You know, how is it that since when do black versus black fighters don't sell? Y'all really started to believe that narrative because Floyd sat up there, and that's where Floyd did a lot of damage to boxing because Floyd refused to give good or great black fighters an opportunity. He knew he could beat mostly those overmatched Hispanic fighters. He knew he was going to be an overwhelming favorite, and that was weak of Floyd to do that. And then everybody started following after Floyd. Oh, I don't want to fight no brother. There ain't no money in that. Since when? Say what you want to say about Terrence Crawford. He went after Errol Spence because Errol Spence was the best, one of the best fights out there that could possibly be made, and it reassured that black versus black fights can sell. So this is some of the damage that Floyd Mayweather, and that's what I'm saying. And this is why people be looking at Floyd Mayweather's side eye, because Floyd, once again, he loved going against the grain. What is he trying to prove? Like I said, he make black men look weak. I wouldn't let Tiafimo's goofy ass nowhere near my gym. I wouldn't show him jack shit. I can't wait till I see Tiafimo. I haven't been able to catch him, but I can't wait till I see him. And I promise y'all, I'm gonna get a one-on-one with him, and I'm gonna grill his ass. Eventually, I'm gonna catch his ass, and I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him some. I'm gonna put him on the spot. I'm gonna put him on the spot. Well, you missing the point. The point is that Bud wanted to become undisputed, and he had to go through Errol Spence. He wasn't sitting up there talking about, I don't want to fight black versus black don't sell. A lot of things were significant in that fight happening. It took a minute to make the fight happen because of some of the politics behind the scenes and stuff. But Terrence Crawford wanted that fight. The fight did good numbers. The fight did like could have did probably a mil had it been made a year or two sooner. But it still did like 800,000 pay-per-views. So it turned to profit. But still, you didn't see Bud talking about, oh man, I don't want that fight because one thing about Bud, he willing to fight anybody. But you really started seeing these boxers following the pattern of Floyd. You know, big payday. You know what I'm saying? Big payday, questionable competition. I'm just saying. Now, Floyd, he almost had a hiccup in that first Maidana fight. I got to be completely honest with you. After watching that first Maidana fight, I saw that fight. I thought Floyd damn near lost that fight. It was 2 rounds that decided that fight that I think Floyd rallied towards the end to steal that fight. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that was the closest I ever seen Floyd to ever lose in a fight. There was quite a few people Floyd could have fought. He could have fought Keith Thurman. He could have fought Sean Porter. He could have fought all those dudes towards the end of his career. And Keith Thurman was the mandatory for one of was Floyd's mandatory. If Floyd elected not to take the fight, you know, I'm just saying Floyd, one of the best fights that could have been made was Floyd versus Paul Williams. I think Paul Williams, based off his style, would have been a difficult fight, but at the same time, I think Floyd would have found a way to win, even though Paul Williams was very tall, standing at like 6'1.5", 6'2" or something. So there were plenty of fights out there for Floyd. I mean, and I know you're gonna say, but he fought Andre Berto. Well, Andre Berto, you know, Andre Berto wasn't who he was, and Andre Berto never recovered from, well, basically the first loss to Ortiz, even though he avenged that loss, and then he lost to Guerrero. So there were opportunities for Floyd to fight better guys and give the black fighters an opportunity. He didn't want. Look, okay, cool. He fought Shane. Now I know Shane ducked him. You know, that's fine. But still, far in between. I think when Floyd became Floyd Money Mayweather, I think during that stretch, Floyd may have fought at best 3 black fighters. I mean, if you want to include, let me see, Berto, Sugar Shane. I mean, Colo, that's kind of like in between. That's kind of like in between. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. But Floyd was the one that started pushing that narrative. It was him. It was him. He probably that's not the point. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Did you ever think that he? Come on, man. I understand Manny Pacquiao, but did you really think that? Did you really think he was gonna lose to Robert Guerrero? Did you really think he was gonna lose to Victor Ortiz? I know he had that hiccup against my Donna, but what happened in the second fight? Floyd beat him clearly. The point I'm trying to make, Keith Thurman should have got an opportunity. Yeah, I think Floyd would have beat Keith Thurman. I think Floyd would have beat. I think Floyd would have beat Tim Bradley, and I think that would have been a good fight. As far as Amir, I know people gonna say, well, he should have fought Amir Khan. Floyd would have knocked Amir Khan out. Floyd would have broke. Floyd would have struggled against Amir Khan probably the first 2 or 3, 4 rounds, maybe at best. But then Floyd would have started to get Amir Khan's timing down. He was started to break Amir Khan down, and as you guys know, as you've seen so many times with Amir Khan, he self-destructs like in the later rounds, and then Floyd would have probably end up stopping him or cruising to and then Amir Khan would have probably got points taken away for basically trying to, excessive clinching and all that kind of stuff. And then Floyd would have won probably either a late stoppage or he would have won a unanimous decision. But all I'm saying is Floyd should have gave more brothers a chance. That's all I'm saying, and I'm just telling the truth about him. Okay, you a Floyd Mayweather fan? If so, that's fine. But you cannot deny what I'm saying about him. All I'm saying is he didn't give them a chance, and he's basically started that movement. He basically ostracized and froze out a lot of brothers. I'm not saying he had to fight all of them, but then I'm saying there would have been some interesting fights out there for him. So that's all I'm saying. But anyway, getting back to the situation with Devin and Keyshawn and Shakur Stevenson. Like I said, it's just really disappointing to see how Stevenson move, and it just seemed to me that I know he talks a good talk, but all of them dudes be moving funny. Devin out here trying to fight the best guys available. He willing to fight them all. He willing to get in the ring with them all. As far now, before you resort to the Rolly thing, let me explain to you what happened. Rolly and the PBC didn't have any guaranteed money for Devin. They basically wanted Devin to put up the money for his own purse. And they talking about whatever they take on pay-per-view or in the gate, that's where they divide the money. And then Rolly allegedly wanted 50% of that. How could Rolly in any way, shape, or form try to ask for half? When Devin is a former undisputed champion, a multi-division champion. So how could he sit up there? And the funny thing is with the PBC, now all of a sudden they don't got no money. They don't got no money for Terrence Crawford. They don't got no money from Terrence Crawford. They basically offered Terrence Crawford the same deal. But then they found Canelo. They found Canelo's money. They found 75 million to give to Conor McGregor. That would have been, yeah. Brooks would have been a good, yeah, yeah. I can dig it. I can dig it. I can dig it. But that's what I'm saying. And Rolly know that. And that's one of the reasons why people got pissed off at Al Heyman and the PBC, because all of a sudden they want to play financial politics with the brothers. But then with the other people, then all of a sudden they can find the money. They found X amount of they found 32 billion to give Canelo for the Caleb Plant fight. But then you talking about you ain't got no money to pay Devin Haney. You basically want him to put up the money for the okay. And I'm like, that's why Devin said, all right, forget this. Like, do anybody with common sense? I'm just keeping it 100. Is there anybody with common sense that believe Devin would have lost to somebody like Rolly? I respect Rolly, but Devin would have picked Rolly apart, and Devin would have beat the hell out of Rolly. He would have beat the hell. He would have beat the hell out of Rolly. Listen, it sound good, but listen, this is why the PBC. This is why the PBC blacklisted me, because I was calling them out. I was calling them. I'm gonna tell people the story. The PBC really got pissed off at me. I was calling them out how they was treating a lot of the black fighters. I called them out on how they were treating black media, how they were ostracizing certain black media and lying about why they wouldn't give black media credentials. So just Zab Zuda, nah, nah. Zab Zuda, after the fourth round, Floyd took over that fight. Floyd was on his way to stopping Zab Zuda. And you know what happened like in the later round. I can't remember what round it was, but Floyd was about to stop Zab Zuda. But yeah. But yeah, that's what happened with Rolly. Broly knowing his heart of hearts, Devin. But look, it sound good. Y'all have to understand. People have to do PR moves. They have to do stuff to save face. And then at the end of the day, people have fan base. They just have people that just don't like Devin. Like I said, I will never understand for the life of me why people don't like Devin Haney. The only people that don't like Devin Haney is dudes that were raised by single mothers. I get it. I get it. You didn't have that male guidance. You didn't have that father figure. I've been calling the PBC out, and that's like I said. That's why. That's why I've been calling the PBC out. So it ain't nothing I can do, and I'm not finna, you know what I'm saying? I'm not finna keep begging them to let me in. I'm not applying for media conditions. Why? If I know for sure that I've been blacklisted, I could tell you the people that they blacklisted. They blacklisted me. They blacklisted Blue Blood. They blacklisted my boy Big Rich, and he out of Oakland just like me. So you know you can go to his Instagram, Big Rich Oakland. You know that's my brother. They ostracized a few people in black media. So, you know, and the nigga's name is Kenneth. Oh, come on, man. Don't be stupid, bro. Come on, man. Don't fucking be stupid, bro. All right, now you being a fucking troll. You know damn well what happened with the Ryan Garcia fight. Ryan Garcia was juiced up to the core. He failed three, not one, not two. As LeBron would say, how many championships you gonna win? Not one, not two, not the. Ryan Garcia failed three drug tests. He failed the A samples and he failed the B samples. And then not to mention he has 60 times the normal amount of ostarine. So when people say zero point 0, that's a fucking lie. Okay? So don't come on, bro. Don't try to play stupid and don't try to be condescending, bro. I don't like that. I don't like that type of sucker shit. That's how he lost. You can talk about the so-called hook all you want. If you really watch that fight, Devin was beating Ryan Garcia's ass. And the funny thing is, Ryan still couldn't knock Devin out. So stop trolling, dude. I guess you must be a PBC. I guess you a PBC nut hugger. But that's fine. Nah, dude. You trying to be funny, bro. Based off the line, based off the last line you came with, you was trying to be condescending though. Oh, well, how did he lose it? Come on, man. Like, bro, who you talking to, bro? I'm a grown man, bro. I ain't one of these, like, bro. I ain't these dudes on here. These dudes that be like for real. I don't want to give nobody no free publicity, but like, I know what you was trying to imply. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for a minute. I'm a credentialed media member. I go to fights all the time. I cover fights all the time. I know fights that's about to be made a week before they get announced. I know more than what I say. Trust me. Does this. And then here's the thing. Why won't Ryan Garcia enroll in 24-hour testing? Ryan Garcia got every excuse in the book. Then he sits up here and try to have this fake orchestrated lie detector test 2 years after the fact. Ryan Garcia had a chance to have a hearing to present all his evidence, and he decided to take that. He decided to take the 1 year suspension because if he would have had a hearing and he would have been found guilty of cheating, he would have been looking at a 2 or 3 year suspension. So if he was innocent, why not have the hearing and present your fact? Ryan Garcia got caught in several lies about how that shit got in his system. This is me you're talking to. This is Town Business Sports and Entertainment out of Oakland. Yeah, and Ryan Garcia, and then Ryan Garcia had to take them tests. And Ryan Garcia looked at when I say Ryan Garcia looked at so normal versus Rolly, he looked totally different versus Rolly. Totally different. He wasn't all amped up. He wasn't all amped up like he was versus Devin and all that kind of stuff. Totally different. But you mean to tell like for real, Rolly's style is tailor made for Devin. Rolly would have been eating jabs all night. And I'll promise you in a rematch, it'll be different. Ryan is the one that been hesitant to take the rematch. Ryan was the one, all he had to do was get past Rolly, and we got a rematch. Ryan was the one that got whooped on by Rolly. And keep in mind, keep in mind, let's put the facts together. Look who Ryan used to train under for a short time. Eddie Reynoso. How many fighters have Eddie Reynoso had under him that tested positive for PEDs? Did it surprise you? No, I'm just saying. And even David Benavidez said it's a miracle that Eddie Reynoso hasn't been investigated. Now, I listen. I'll say this much: PEDs is called performance enhancing. That means it enhances your performance. Now, is it a guarantee to work or help you win fights? Absolutely not. But does it far better your chances to win a fight? Yeah. Yeah. And all this stuff about I don't know how I got my system because you put it in there. I'm gonna say this once again. Do you think the police going you think if you get pulled over by the highway patrol or the police and they, think that you're under the influence and they run a test and you fail that test and they take your ass to jail, you think they're gonna be trying to hear, I don't know how I got my system. You know what they're gonna tell you? You know what the cops gonna tell you? And I shared this story with a police officer and he was laughing. He said, "You goddamn right." Know what the police officer told me? He said, "You responsible for what you put in your body." He said if you have 10 wine coolers and you fail that test, that's on you. He said whether you knowingly or mistakenly, hey, it's your fault. So all this stuff that Ryan Garcia was coming with, these elaborate, and then that's another thing. Ryan Garcia told several lies how that shit got in his system, and that was overlooked. Ryan Garcia has no credibility. He's a habitual liar, especially with the bitch in it. Dude, what the fuck wrong? Okay, dude, you trolling. Why are you worried about me? And like, you want to see a background or something, bro? You want to see some shiny lights or something? You want me to add some special effects? Why the fuck are you worried about where I'm? I mean, if you like, come on, bro, you trolling now. You acting kind of weird, bro. So that's what I'm saying about Eddie. That's what I'm saying about Eddie Reynoso. So why would people be shocked? I mean, for real, 7 fighters, and he ain't been investigated by anybody, not been questioned. That's why they call him the Juice Man. How's these fighters miraculously under your wing and training with you constantly keep testing positive for PEs? But then you got these morons talking about snack. But once again, snack only supplied black fighters with PEDs. But then you can look at the Robert Garcia Academy or the Robert Garcia gym, and he has a big ass, you know what I'm saying, billboard slash, you know what I'm saying, for snack, which means he's a snack client, but nobody accuses them of being on PEDs. But Devin Haney, and Terrence Crawford on that snack. But but besides Terrence Crawford, Caleb Plant is a snack climber. Nobody's ever accused Caleb Plant of being on PEDs. See how these people change the narrative? And like I said, Oscar Duarte, Oscar Duarte accused Ryan Garcia of being on PEDs, and he's Mexican. So, you know, that's real. It wasn't just, and then Tank going into that fight, Tank said, "Hell yeah, he gonna take drug tests." So Tank suspected him. So Tank suspected him of being on something, but Tank made him take drug test after drug test, stipulation after stipulation. Some people say weight drained him, but then you would think he would have been backing up Devin, but no, he's sitting up there basically caping for Brian Garcia. That's your black brothers for you. But anyway, you guys. Now, before I leave, appreciate y'all being here, and of course, I'm gonna talk about the Carmelo Anthony trial and how the fix is in.